Hustle, we're late.
Dad!
Oh, man, all right, oh. Hi. All right, bye.
Bye, Dad. I thought maybe dinner for 3.
Thank you.
Or 4.
Hello, welcome to Premiere Scene. I'm Claire Bueno as Hollywood bring us their take on our beloved Dartmoor Zoo as we speak to the inspiration and author of the true life story of We Bought a Zoo.
Hey, Rosie. Am I doing anything right?
You're handsomer than the other dads. Lots of them don't have hair. So that's good.
You actually did buy a zoo.
We did buy a zoo,
It sounds utopian to do such a thing,
Yeah.
but is it as idyllic as it sounds?
No. Idyllic was what happened before we bought the zoo. I was living in France, writing a column and writing a book about animal intelligence. My children were bilingual, and it was sunny, and it was great. Then the zoo came up. We were actually looking for a house for my mother to live in, and we laughed and thought, nobody would buy a zoo. But we made the mistake of going to see it. And of course, it's the most amazing place, and we realized all these animals were going to be destroyed if we didn't buy it, because the next people in line to buy it would have turned it into a nursing home, which would have meant, euthanizing a lot of the creatures. So something in us just clicked, and we thought we have to do this. We knew it would be very hard. We knew it would be harder than we thought, and we were right. It remains hard. But of course, we've got this incredible film made about us now, so I think we're going to have a pretty busy year.
That's the way that you wrote, obviously, the book of your experience of it. How did Fox come to you about purchasing the rights for a film?
Well, initially, I think Weinstein is my US publisher. They automatically buy the rights for a 90-day option, and as soon as that starts to run out, once it's there, everyone wants it. And everyone explains to me, don't get your hopes up. If someone buys it, it's just to stop other people making it. But something about this film, it kept being moved forward, and the producer, Julie Yorn, called me a lot in the early days saying she was surprised how fast it was moving through the stages. She actually said, there's an angel sitting on the shoulder of this film, and she thinks she knows who it is, and she thinks it's my wife Catherine is steering it through from above, which is a nice thought, because she is very much in the film. I don't know if you've seen it, but
We'll sing it in a minute.
Oh, this is your first time?
Yeah.
It's our 3rd time now, is it? You're 4th. Wow. Oh yeah, you missed it 1 time. So we're getting to know this film quite well. Although every time I see it, I see something different, because obviously the first few times it's very personal, and then that was the thing. The last time I thought, they bought a zoo, wow, that's amazing. That's why they made a film about this.
Attempt to start over.
I shall try to start over.
Sunlight. Joy.
I salute you and the great times we had together, and I quit.
What do you think's enchanting about starting up a zoo just for the love of it, really?
Well, I just think it's really sweet, and it's nice to see a film which is, light-hearted and not killing people.
And this film is based on fact as well. What do you feel about people?
I don't know an awful lot about it, so I might say something I shouldn't, like it's a science fiction film or something.
It's exactly what we've been looking for.
It's a bit complicated. What's so complicated about this place? It's a zoo.
I wondered whether you would share with us about Dartmoor Zoo and tell us a little bit more about it, please.
Yeah, sure. What about the zoo itself?
Yes, please.
Well, it's set in 33 acres. It's a bit like a park, really. It's not got lots of glitzy plastic and stuff. It's very much, rolling parkland with views and the animals in as natural a setting as it's possible to give them, really. So it's got some great beasts there too.
Yeah, share with us a little bit more about the animals that we could see if we visited the zoo.
Well, certainly you'll see in the film the tigers, and that's what we've got down at the zoo as well. In fact, we've got 4 Siberian tigers, and they're, if you're allowed a favourite, probably are mine actually, because they're just such magnificent creatures. And Vlad in particular, he's a real beast. He's possibly the largest Siberian tiger in Europe. I mean, why not? He's in his prime. They're the largest cats on Earth, so he's really something.
I'm gonna live here.
You're looking looking forward to this.
Oh, very much indeed. It's all about Matt Damon in a zoo with Scarlett Johansson. What could be better? Animals, sex, both of them together at the same pace. I think it is legal. We're really looking forward to it. It's going to be good.
And did you know Benjamin Mee's story bit before the book?
I know it now because it's got a lot of publicity. I hadn't heard of it before, but it is absolutely remarkable, an incredible story. So it's true. That makes it even better, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Do you think as well, is it something that you would consider, something that you're really passionate about, giving up something to pursue something else, your dream?
God, I've given up so much already. I've given up chocolate, sex and rock and roll to pursue my dream, and that's it. No, I'm not giving up anything else. I don't want to live in a zoo, but thank you very much indeed for offering the option. Thank you, appreciate it.
Welcome to your zoo.
This is what you want. It's not what I want.
At the risk of stating the obvious, you're insane.
The sellers say you don't even need any special knowledge to run a zoo. What you need is a lot of heart.
Has it been Hollywoodized? How true to your story have they been?
Well, very true in the basic idea that a family suffers a tremendous loss and rebuilds itself through rebuilding a zoo. But certain things like the timeline of the death of my wife is moved because it would be too distressing to have it in the middle of the film. And my mother, which is the reason we bought the zoo and the only way we could, because it was her house that we sold, she's also too complicated to have it in. But all books are streamlined for adaptation to the screen, and I wasn't expecting anything different. What I really wasn't expecting was such a detailed and compassionate treatment from Cameron Crowe and Matt Damon on the subject matter of bereavement and loss, which they don't shy away from at all, and they really do explore in some depth, which I'm really, really pleased about.
And you've been immortalised by Matt Damon, who I would imagine play the character with a great amount of depth. What was that?
Yeah. Well, I haven't got used to that at all. Still, I've had 2 years to get used to it, and you just can't. And I met him now twice in going to the States a couple of times, and the second time he picked me out of the crowd and said, "Hey Ben," and I thought, "Hi Matt," But you just can't get used to it. I don't know how it. It'll take me a decade to really understand what that's all about. But in terms of an A-list actor, you just cannot get better because he's a rooted man. I mean, what I really like about him, why I put him on the list of people for them to use, is his intelligence and his sense of humour. I mean, he has a real sense of humour, which you can see on and off screen. And of course, he's got fabulous hair, which makes me look great.
You are gonna love your new enclosure.
We need somebody who can take charge of this place, or else we and all these animals are gone.
Benjamin, the author of the book, has been immortalised by Matt Damon. If you were to somebody to do your life story, who would you like playing you?
Oh, really good question. Who would I like to play me during my life story? Can't say Pixie Lott, can I? I love her though. But we look so alike,
I know, exactly.
I'm going to stick with Pixie, yeah.
Pixie Lott, thank you very much.
I'm trying to give the kids an authentic American experience.
Stop before zebras get involved.
There's 2 zebras. There's a lion. There's 47 animal species.
It'll never last.
I've noticed, I've been on your website as well, you've got an education centre. Can you tell us a little bit more about the kind of things that you offer with regards to education?
Yeah, we've got a very powerful education centre, which we set up since taking the zoo over, because modern zoos are about education primarily, and biodiversity and the protection of those issues. For instance, the Siberian tigers, if we were to breed them and release them into the wild, they would be at risk of being killed because the population out there is declining really, really fast. So it's only by changing the general attitude of the next generation that there's going to be any hope for them at all. So yeah, we've got dedicated classrooms now as well, and we're doing higher education as well, some diplomas with 2 of the colleges. So yeah, we've got a good outreach program. We also have small children right up through to university students coming in doing research programs. So.
And I would imagine as well it's a privately funded zoo. So how, if people want to contribute, what should they do if they were watching this piece?
Well, if anybody did want to contribute, then they can come along to dartmoorzoo.org, and you will find a space on the website there to make a donation, which would be tremendously gratefully received, I can say.
If you stick with me, I will give this everything.
Well, that's good enough for me.
As an animal lover yourself, would you embark on opening your own?
Absolutely not. No, I mean I'm not an enemy of zoos, but equally I'm not a great fan of them. And certainly it's true that the conditions in an awful lot of zoos all over the world are pretty ropey. I trust that obviously wasn't the case in this case. It was rescuing a situation where animals, God knows what would have happened to them, you know. So they'd probably all be roaming on Dartmoor, wouldn't they?
Along with the beast.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. You know, he could have just let him out, saved himself a lot of trouble, and probably got a more successful film.
Well, that's true. It could be another reality TV show.
Yes, just release people and several wild animals and see who survives. And do us a favour, don't film it.
I think you're incredibly pretty. Please don't take offense if I don't hit on you.
Be offended if you did.
Thank you. I think.
You're living now, obviously, in Dartmoor, at one with nature. How has living there helped you become more creative with your writing?
Well, I always tried to do that, actually. When I was in London, people would criticise me for picking up sticks in the park and taking them home to whittle. I've always made things, and when I was in France, one of the first things this little boy asked me when he was about 3 is, "Daddy, why do you like sticks?" And because I'm always collecting things to make. And in Dartmoor at the zoo, there are so many things to build and mend all the time. The only trouble is we've got such a great maintenance team. They're always doing it first, and I get stuck doing admin, which I hate. You see people do these lovely jobs out the window, and you know there are times when it's raining and I don't envy them. But it's a very creative, dynamic process, just keeping the zoo going. So you know, lots to challenge me there.
Very organic.
Very organic, and really rooted into the cycle of life in a way that I didn't expect ever to achieve. It's like a small holding or a farm. You know, births and deaths and weather are what it's all about. I couldn't ask for more.
I like the animals, but I love the humans.
It's a testament as well, not only to taking the risk and having the belief, but it's actually the sustainability of working as a family unit and becoming that. Again, yeah, instead of us being this extended family, plugging together and working together.
Yeah, definitely. I think, it is. It's really good. And of course, now we've got 3 generations on the zoo all at the same time. So, it is. I mean, sometimes there are a few little bits of friction, as you might imagine, but different ways of doing things. But it's so far, touch wood, it's gone well.
All you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. And I promise you, something great will come of it.
So with lions and tigers and bears and more, pay a visit to Dartmoor Zoo. As for this grizzly bear, she's going off to hibernate. I'm Claire Bueno, and you're watching Premiere Scene.
You coming?